just about made it here. Got a tornado warning going on outside. It's not real pretty outside. Man, it was a little crazy trying to beat the weather, but so if we lose any power here, I got the backup system ready to go. So you hear the thunder in the background. Welcome to another day of Bet with the Genius, Sean Miller, soccer betting genius. And first, before we do that, got to give a little bit of a props to our guy, Chris King of the Max Wagers Network, 2 to 3, the Parlay King. He had a 10-team parlay. $100 pays over $100,000. 10-team parlay. It's second 10-team parlay a year. If you're not watching Max Wagers Network all day, if you're a big bettor, even if you're a little better, you put a 10-team, you didn't have to bet 10 teams. Maybe you pick 6 of them. It would have been a massive, massive hit for you. So congratulations to Chris and anybody who bet that. Really awesome. Make sure you're subscribing, ringing the bell so I get you some more shows. We got a lot of stuff planned here. Big day today, obviously. We have, Kaepernick coming in a little bit to talk about the MLS. Of course, we got a lot of stuff to talk about before we get to that, though. We got there's a couple big games on the weekend. I don't know if you heard of the Champions League final, but we've been talking about that a little bit. Subscribe, ring the bell once again. Caesars $1,000, $1,100 first bet insurance. Place a first-time wager of up to $1,100. Get it back in the form of a free bet if you lose. Use promo code ATSWINS CZR. Imagine if you would have done that $1,100 first bet on that 10-team parlay. You would have been a millionaire. You would have been signing papers. You would have been hopefully like me in a couple weeks. Today was the day. The Amazon split and market closed. Had to be in today. Whatever your shares are today, that's what you're going to get in your 20-1 split for Amazon. Can't even wait. Got a decent amount of Amazon shares I had before the split. Now it's going to be a lot of Amazon shares, and hopefully it goes right back to where it is. Takes maybe a year to do it. And you'll be seeing me doing this show with a bunch of gold plated. It was not even gold plated. It's going to be the 24 karat gold. I'm going to have 24 karat gold stuff behind me instead of a blank wall here at today. Remember, Fridays, usually I'm over at my parents' house until next week. The SAT, I'm a big SAT tutor. If you need any SAT tutoring, please get in touch with me right here at the Prodigal Sean. I do remote SAT. I'm the number one SAT tutor in New Jersey. You can talk to the Hun football coach. They're sending guys to D1 programs left and right. You can talk to all the prep schools. I'm all over the place. I am the top SAT tutor in the country, along with the number one soccer handicapper in America. And maybe the world. Who knows? I have to see. Remember, I won that competition last year. On the Euros. Remember, you can catch me tonight at midnight. I'm on 98.7 ESPN New York, and tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on the same station or on TuneIn Radio. And I want to say something. I have a new intern. Her name is Lola Robbins. You'll maybe see her sometimes doing some stuff for me if you follow my Twitter. She's going to be doing all kinds of social media and everything, but she came up to the studio today, and today was the first time in the history of our show. It's called The Fine Line. We're going to try to maybe change the name of it because Daryl Fine's not on the show anymore. But it's the first time we had an entire segment dedicated to world soccer. We talked about the Champions League. We talked about the richest game in world football, the EFL Championship final at Wembley on Sunday. We had a whole segment on ESPN. We talked about it. I couldn't. I can't even believe how exciting it is at this point. Soccer is so big at the World Cup coming up to get the World Cup in the U.S. in 2026, and obviously everybody here knows how big soccer betting is. It's the biggest sport in the world for betting. Maybe not here. It's definitely not here, but it's getting there. And it's just massive around the world. So huge games this weekend. Remember, you got the Liverpool. These odds are going to change a little bit. Liverpool's actually kind of moved towards even money, and Real Madrid's gone towards 270, 275, which I give it to me. So we will talk about Liverpool, Real Madrid a little bit. We talked about it all week. Alistair came on and talked about it. We'll ask Kaepernick about it. I want to talk a little bit more about Huddersfield Town and Nottingham Forest, maybe some different ways to play that game. You got the Eredivisie, UEFA Europa Conference League playoffs, AZ Alkmaar versus Vitesse. Vitesse won 2-1 on the first leg the other day, so Alkmaar has to win here. I'm going to talk a little bit about what's that? $100 on Benzema, $100 on Liverpool to win, and over 2.5 goals. Yeah, I think the over, is definitely Liverpool gives up goals. Real Madrid has shown a tendency to give up goals. Liverpool is clearly, I think the better team. I'm a little worried about them running out of gas at this point. We talked about it all week. Benzema to score, I think, is a lock. Mane's leaving Liverpool, it sounds like, from everything he's been saying. So maybe he's the guy. I don't think Salah's 100%. So that'll be interesting. I wanted to talk a little bit about this Portugal Liga Nos qualification, Moreirense versus Chaves. I've been to Chaves. It's a fantastic. My friend Amar Pereira was born there. It's right across the border from Spain. It's in Portugal, obviously, because it's Liga Nos, right? And they have these hot springs there, and like you can go and you drink the water. It's like really good medicinal properties for you. It's like volcanic water, I guess. I don't know, but it's really, they have this cool stuff outside. It's a really cool town. I have a house that I'm gonna buy there at some point, maybe up in the village. So there's a village up in the mountains. I'll show you some pictures one time. If you want to look, ask me, send me a message on Twitter at the Prodigal Sean, or on Instagram at the Prodigal Sean. I'm gonna have my intern Lola be doing some of my TikToks, and then of course we'll be talking MLS with Kaepernick. So, Bill got it going here with, once again with $100 on Benzema, $100 on Liverpool to win it over 2.5. So let's take a look at those, because these odds are changing. By the way, Bill, I told you Celtics Heat are too banged up at this point. I think this series you see the line tonight is absolutely crazy. We'll take a look at that real quickly. I think the line tonight is -9, 8.5. Oof. I think the Celtics clean it. I think they close it up tonight. Heat are walking wounded. I think they're in trouble. But I had, the Avalanche 4-4, man. They had the game won 3 different times. They're up 3-0 and blew it. Now I think, we talked about that. They scored the 4 goals. I think they're in a lot of trouble now, because the Blues, you lose a game like that, I think you're in a lot of trouble. I think that could be really bad news for Colorado, and they're a little bit like Toronto in the first round. This second round, they've been getting knocked out as the favorite to win the cup, and here all of a sudden you're up 3-0, 3-1 in the series, and 3-0 in the game, and you blow it. And you blow it in overtime, and all of a sudden you're going back to St. Louis, And now St. Louis wins. Now it's 3-3, and now you got a game 7. You're all nervous because you had the series won at 3-0, 3-1, right? I'd say it's exactly kind of. I thought the Avalanche would close it out. I forgot my man Myron. I didn't realize they're chokers, but it is what it is. All right, so when you look at this here, Liverpool. See, Liverpool's moved to -103. The money's coming in on Liverpool. Real Madrid's up to +270. To win the trophy, Liverpool's up to minus. Myron, there he is. Tonight is a lock. Who's the lock, Myron? Who's the lock? Is it Colorado or is it St. Louis? Going to be interesting. I didn't know you'd be in here, Myron, talking about that, man. Avs versus Blues. Myron's the big Avs fan, the number 1 hockey fan in all of Belize. Myron Thiessen. There's nobody bigger. Avalanche going to win 5-2. There you go. Avalanche 5-2. Before we get to this is, let's see. Oh, you can bet on total goals over right here, over 3.5. If you think it's there, over 4 is +125. Correct score, 5-2, +3,300. +3,300. Myron has given it to you. If you take it and it wins, make sure you thank Myron next week. All right? It's going to be interesting, though. Avs better win tonight, because if they don't, man, game 7 is going to be interesting. This Liverpool game, the over keeps creeping up here. Over 2.5 is -139. Both teams to score -175. It's almost, you probably have to parlay that with something. Here's what I like. I've talked about this all week, but this number keeps creeping down. It was 129, 121. Now it's 120. You see these games here. Liverpool, it was 0-0. Their other games, 3-1, 3-1, 1-0, 3-0. Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Real Madrid. I noticed a pattern. This is a long time ago. This is the Champions League final right here. And then 21, Real Madrid knocked them out. So I like this bet here. I once again, I always talk about how I just think they're running out of gas. You see Salah here at +138. He doesn't show up in big games. If you're going to bet on Liverpool goal scorers, I would go with one of these guys here. I don't know if Jota's going to start or it'll be, Mane's definitely starting. Mane at +185 is decent money. This guy, Luis Diaz, what a signing he's been at +245 to score a goal. That's pretty good money, but this is the king right here. The future Ballon d'Or winner in November, December, whenever they announce it. Here's King Kareem right now. And then the future World Cup winner at the end of the year in December in Qatar. +148. This guy has scored 10 goals in his last 5 UEFA Champions League games. 10 goals in his last 5. That is absolutely ridiculous numbers. Guy is just the biggest big game player in the world. He had Ronaldo there and was up front with him. Benzema, Bale, and Cristiano. He was kind of in the shadows of Ronaldo's left, and this guy's just become the best number 9 in the world. I don't think this game's going to be a shutout. I like Vinicius Jr. a little bit at +320 as well. My feelings on this game. I think Real Madrid is one of these teams where everything has gone their way up until this. They've gotten so lucky, and just Against PSG, everything went their way. Against Chelsea, I was at the game. It was 3-0. They were going out. The handball was disallowed. Then they scored, and then they scored in extra time. Everybody got, Chelsea kind of ran out of gas. Against Manchester City, they were down by 2 goals in the tie in the 90th minute of the second leg and ended up winning the tie against the greatest Manchester City team in the history of the world, except they only won 1 trophy, right? So sometimes there's just an aura around the team. They're just protected up on high by Florentino Perez or whoever it is, man. Florentino Perez made a pact with one of the fallen angels or something. This team is ridiculous. They just get everything goes their way. It's amazing. And I know Liverpool's won 2 trophies without scoring a goal in 240 minutes. And they had to get pushed all the way to the end of the thing, and they're banged up and they're a little bit tired. And Real Madrid's been rested because they won the league 3 weeks ago. Really, they won the league 3 months ago. So they've been rested. They have been rotating. They haven't had a tough game. They're going to be rested. They're going to be ready to go. I just think, just me, Liverpool might win this game 5-0. But I just think Real Madrid gets it done. I don't know whether it's in the money line. I would rather probably, this is a pretty good play right here. The only thing we talked about this, the last 3 Champions League finals have been shutouts to the loser. The last 2 have been 1-0. Last year was 1-0. Nobody gave Chelsea a chance against Manchester City, and Chelsea got it done. PSG and Bayern Munich, I thought that was a pretty even game. PSG had an early chance, didn't score, and then Bayern Munich got the goal, the 2-0. The last time both teams scored in a final was 2018. Who played in that game? I forget. Who was that? Oh, yeah. It was Real Madrid against Liverpool, and Real Madrid won 3-1. And I said Christian Bale. Gareth Bale. Christian Bale probably scored 2. Gareth Bale scored a couple goals. Big Ben scored to get it going, right? Remember, Benzema scored. He always scores, man. He's inevitable. So there's a million different ways we could go with this game, right? I have my play. Listen, if you have a play, Bill gave his here. He likes 100 on Benzema to score plus 150 about. It's going to pay a little bit. 100 on Liverpool to win. That's about even money. Over 2.5. That's a parlay. Sorry. 100 on Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals. We'll see what that parlay plays. Liverpool to win over 2.5 goals. That pays about plus 188. Very good payoff. If you take Real Madrid and over 2.5, it pays 450. And if you take double chance and over 2.5, it pays plus 275. That's a lot of. We're getting a lot of decent value here. Myron gave Avalanche 5-2 at plus 3,300. And some of the other bets there. So I think there's some pretty good value on this tonight and the weekend. And I like the Celtics tonight. That series hasn't been close. Any of the games, they have not been close. Celtics close it out. And Celtics Warriors is going to be unbelievable finals, if that's the finals. Those games are going to be great because they both have certain ways of playing. And, this Celtics team and this Warriors team were both kind of given up for dead about maybe 3 months ago. Remember, the Warriors just said, we're going to get healthy. And they let the Suns go get top seed and win 68 games or 65, whatever they won. And then the Warriors are like, we don't care. We're going to get healthy. Well, healthy is more important than a top seed, especially in the playoffs, especially when you have a team like that, as you saw, because Klay Thompson was really good last night. And the Celtics have been the best team in the NBA for the last 2.5 months. I mean, there's no doubt about it. When they started that run, I started looking at it and I said, you know what? I'm gonna jump on the Celtics here at plus 700 or plus 750 to win the East. Because remember, back then, the Nets were still, imagine that, the Nets, the Sixers, and Embiid was dunking on everybody and stuff. The Celtics were still way down here. Right when they started winning, I said, you know what, this team has a chance. And they're this close, at plus 750. And that was just to win the East. I should have bet them to win the NBA Finals, but it is what it is. And remember, I have Real Madrid to win. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit out of chronological order here. I want to, once again, I just want to look at this championship game. The odds are changing a little bit. When you see these two teams that have played, there's not a lot of goals scored. 2-0, 1-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-0, 1-0, 2-1. That was in the FA Cup. Maybe some changes to the lineups and stuff for both teams, both trying to get into the playoffs here. I'll tell you, this Huddersfield Town team, they finished third, and they're getting, they're not getting a lot of respect here. Nottingham Forest obviously at plus 114. Nottingham Forest, remember, started the season with 1 point from first 7 matches. The coach got fired. Steve Cooper came in and just he's unbelievable, unbelievable job. I like the Nottingham Forest team. I watched them play because James Garner, who's on loan from Manchester United, plays midfield for him. So I've watched them play a lot, not a lot, but I've watched them play enough on ESPN Plus. They show those games all the time. Once again, I'm a junkie for soccer. So to lift. To win the trophy or to win the tie right now, Nottingham Forest is minus 182, which to me is pretty high. I mean, that's a little bit telling. This makes me nervous a little bit. This over under, 2.5 minus 175 under. I mean, that goes back to these league games here. Huddersfield Town doesn't score a lot of goals and don't give up a lot of goals. Both teams a score, yes, no. I mean, just as someone who's kind of breaking these games down, this here does not correlate with this. If both teams to score, yes, is minus 103, no is minus 129, but the under is under 2.5 is minus 175, basically saying it's going to be 2 goals. I don't understand this. This should be closer to yes, I don't know, plus something, no, minus 150 to me. I mean, you see here, they're all clean sheets. Clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet, clean sheet. This year, so far in the league, it was a clean sheet for the road teams. Nottingham Forest 2-0 on September 18th. And Huddersfield Town 1-0 on December 30th. And then you go back to last year in April, it was 2-0 to Huddersfield Town on the road. And then Huddersfield Town won at home 1-0. So, there's a little bit of a pattern there. Remember, this is the FA Cup game, so the lineups are probably a little bit different. To me, there's probably, the cards, I think under 4.5. You look here, both teams don't really get cards a lot. So, I think you could probably go with, under 4.5 is minus 175. I don't know if if you take a chance on under 3.5 here, you see over 3.5 is minus 200, under 4.5 is minus 175. So basically to me, that's saying there's probably going to be about 4 cards in the game. Do you look at cards? Do you look at corners? Red cards. I usually don't mess with red cards unless there's a clear pattern to those, to be honest. Player specials to give an assist. You can look at this stuff, but, for these games here, I usually just kind of say, will there be a clean sheet? I might take a chance here on Forest to win to nil. I like Nottingham Forest in the game. So, if you think Forest is going to win, maybe you go Forest to win at plus 235. If you like Huddersfield, maybe Huddersfield to win. I got a couple of those 1-0 and a 2-0 win. So Huddersfield to win to nil is plus 475. So, it's not the worst bet. So to me, the easiest play here for me is probably like Nottingham Forest, because when you look at the Asian lines, minus 0.25 is pick is 200. That's out for me. Minus 0.25 is minus 121. I guess you could do that if you think, but if they lose, you lose it anyway. So I might as well just take a chance on the money line. There's a couple, we got Kaepernick coming on here soon. So there's a game in the Netherlands. This promotion and relegation playoff. AZ Alkmaar lost 2-1 to Vitesse the first time around. The over-under here, there's a lot of goals in these games. I mean, look here, 2-1, 3-1. There's 0-0, 2-1, 3-1. So 5 out of 6 right there, including the game the other day, were over 2.5. So minus 124 here on this game. And this game, I believe, is Sunday. It is. I don't even know what day it is anymore, to be honest with you. It's Sunday at 8:30, so it's early Sunday. I think Alkmaar wins, but it's a tough game. Maybe the better play here is the over 2.5. If you want to take a chance on the minus 0.75, it's minus 125. I mean, you're almost better off just saying -1, hoping they win 2-0 and plus 110. I think I've talked about this a lot. I go in between with these. I get stuck here sometimes on these. Do I go -1? Do I go minus 0.75? Hope they win by 2 goals, but if they win by 1, at least you win half your bet. But it's like, if you bet $40 on a game and it finishes by a 1-goal win, you're winning 20 and it's minus 125. If you're winning like 16, $15, like, is it worth it? If you're betting $100, whatever, you're going to get $40, 45. I mean, it's better than a loss, but you're almost better off saying, what, I'm just going to go -1 and hope they win by 2 goals. And, you can do minus 1.25 and hope they win by 2 goals, or even at minus 1.5 and take a chance and say, what, I'm going to go plus 180. But, -1 covers you if AZ Alkmaar wins at home by 1 goal. So I think that's pretty interesting as well. Let me stop this for a second. I just want to go back to this template for 1 second before we get to the MLS and Kaepernick. Oh, just quickly. Portugal. Let me just remove that. Share the screen. Thanks for the like. Remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell. Follow my man Chris King. If you like parlays, man, imagine hitting a $110,000 parlay for $100. I mean, absolutely crazy. You see this here. Shabs is up 2-0 in the game. That's why this game is here. But look here, Shabs won 1-0 on at Moreirense on April 20th. Shabs won 1-0 on February 18th, 2018. The last time they played before that. So Shabs has won 4 the last 5 against Moreirense. But this is the last time they played. They haven't played since 2019, except for this thing. They won last week 2-0. Moreirense has to come out and try to score. Shabs is going to try to shut it down. I might go here, minus 114. I'm not telling you to bet this game, to be honest, but, I just wanted to look at it because, I think Shabs is such a, pretty it's such a cool place there. And if you ever get a chance to go visit, we were talking about Stade de France today, where the Champions League final. This is, what's interesting? This is the third straight year they've moved the Champions League final. Remember, in 2020, they had that one-off tournament because it got the thing. Remember, it got like cut off in the middle of COVID. The COVID in Europe started really badly because of the UEFA Champions League. Remember, because Atalanta traveled to Valencia, and all the fans from Bergamo, which was a huge hotspot in Italy early on, gave it break to Valencia, and then Atletico Madrid fans went to Liverpool, and then it blew up there. I came back in December with it, so I can't say anything. Whatever. I probably gave COVID to 100,000 people. Sick that I was. Like, who even knows, right? Didn't even know what it was at that point. But this is the third year in a row they've moved the game. So that time they moved it, and then they had the one-off games. Remember, PSG, that was when RB Leipzig made a semifinal, and PSG got to the final and lost 1-0. Last year was moved to Portugal from Turkey because I think there was an outbreak of COVID, I believe, and they played it at Estadio Dragão in Porto. And once again, I was there. I've been to the Estadio Dragão 100 times. Saw Benfica and Porto there. Not 100, but probably 7 or 8. Saw a bunch of Champions League games. Saw them play Shakhtar Donetsk. Saw the Nations League final in 2019. Saw Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat trick against Switzerland, and then they beat the Netherlands in the final 1-0 to win that trophy. It's such a fantastic stadium, and there's a movement now to make the Champions League kind of like the Final Four, where they want to have the semifinals and the finals. I don't know if it's going to be the quarterfinals, semifinals. I think it's just the semifinals. Semifinals just be one-legged ties, and the finals one-legged ties, and have it all in the same city. I don't, let me please in the comments if you've been to any games over there, please let me know. Or you've been to games here. There's a lot of pretty cool stadiums around here as well. But I love going to the games over there and going to different stadiums. So we'll get ready to talk MLS with Kaepernick here. I've been to Dublin, Aviva, all over England, Southampton, Blackburn, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, Southampton, Burnley, Aston Villa. I've been to Ajax. I've been to PSG, all over Porto, Estoril. I've been to a game at Estoril, which is a little bit crazy, but all right. Pull this up in anticipation of our guest, and we'll hold that off here. So we're going to talk a little bit about these games in the MLS, and you have to for me, it's the MLS games start at 6:00. They're smart enough to know that we're not going to go up against the Champions League final. So the first game is out west, LAFC in San Jose at 6:00, and then there's 7:00, 7:00, 7:00, 7:30, 7:30. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the 14 games. 11 of the 13 games. There's only 13 games this weekend. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 of the 14 games are on Saturday. I think that's one thing that the MLS can do a little bit better job of. I I think the NFL gets it, moving games around. There's so many different windows, and then once college football ends, college football gets it. Now they play those MAC games on the Tuesdays and the Wednesdays. Thursday night football, obviously, they have Friday night games on Saturday. These gambling has become, sports betting has become so big. Obviously, someone told me today that California is on the ballot for November, and it's like a 90% chance it passes. If California joins with 43 million people, 45 million people, how many people are there now? It's going to be absolutely crazy to see what happens there. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I see. Avalanche couldn't win when they're up 3-0 at home. Probably going to be a game 7. Yeah, look, Myron says 5-2. This is a massive game to me. It's a massive, massive game for me because I'm a real big momentum kind of person in these playoff series. If this game goes 6-2 or something to St. Louis, it could be really interesting. That game 7, but I don't know. It's Myron is the, once again, if you I don't know if you're here at the beginning, he's the number 1 Hawk NHL fan in all of Belize. And he says it's a lock. Avs gonna win 5-2. So, all right, we'll see what's going on here. Wait for him to come on. I'm gonna start talking about some of these games here. Let me pull up the MLS table. So, see that Austin team. It's a Kaepernick's team, 24 points here. See if I can target some of these top teams. Of course, they don't play until Sunday. LA Galaxy and Austin FC, 6:00 on Sunday. Galaxy here, -1 goal difference. This Austin team is really good on the road. You see this goal difference here: 27 goals for, 14 goals against. This team is pretty good. And I will say this team, Austin FC, has, when they are, they have the 2-0 win last year. They lost 1-0 already at home. When they are this underdog here at plus 275, man, they've paid well. I've won a few times on this. When Kaepernick says take them, I say, you know what? I'll take a chance. What do I know? And then you see -103 here. Austin FC or draw, -103. These, if you're not sold on these games, sometimes you're like, I'm just not sure I want to lay plus 270 on a team on the road, even though they're very good and they have this good goal difference, and LA Galaxy has a bad goal difference. I don't know. I don't want to lay it. Here you go. Double chance. Sorry, I just noticed I'm not showing that to you. You can lay double chance here, -103. I mean, for even money, you're getting 2 of the 3 outcomes for the second best team in the Western Conference right now. 24 points. Eastern Conference, so they're the second best team because this Union team, man, 6 wins, 6 draws. This is the second best team in the league right here. Austin FC, second best team in the league right now, and you can get 2 of the 3 outcomes for -103. I mean, I'm going to probably take a chance there. I just know, they've been so good. And Here we have just in time to hear what Kaepernick has to say. We'll add him to the stream here. What's up, man? I was just kind of talking about this. I wanted to go in order down the thing, but I looked at the table first, and this Austin FC team. Here we are again at plus 275 on the road against the plus 14 goal difference, or plus against a team with a negative goal difference, and you can get them at basically even money for two results, win or draw. I mean, I know you're a big Austin FC backer. What do you think about that game?
I do see this being a more gritty match than the last matchup between these two. I watched the first head-to-head of the season between these two teams. The 1-0 loss that Austin FC took at home. It was a primetime spot, a newer team to the division in a primetime spot against a established team like LA Galaxy. That was a tough matchup for them. I think they'll be more prepared for this go around. So I do see them having a better chance of at least getting a tie. So I'm all in on the draw no bet.
Yeah, I can't this is when you look at this, we looked at this table here. Austin FC is they're the second best team in the league right now. They got 27 goals for. They've got the most. I think they've got the most goals scored. Yes, they have the most. Scored the most goals in the league. They have the second most points in the league. They got the best goal difference in the league, and they're playing a team, LA Galaxy. They're okay. They got a -1 goal difference. They've only scored 13 goals in 13 games, and you're telling me you're going to give me draw and win at basically even money? I mean, I think this is still a little people are they're still trying to figure out hey, this maybe people don't understand this Austin FC team is that good yet.
Exactly. And it's really hard to back them after they had a bad season last season. But also it's expected with you're a new expansion team. You're supposed to not have a really good first season. But I do feel like this is a spot where they have to rebound. They might have circled this matchup, honestly, given that 1-0 loss they took at home. That was a huge turnout. Like the crowd was live. It was their packed house, and they lost 0-1. So I do feel like this is going to be a time where they want to, show that I deserve this number two seed.
We were talking a little bit about the MLS was smart enough to schedule games, put this one game here. I hope maybe it's in the national TV spot right after the Champions League final. So there's they're not going up against the Champions League final because nobody if you're watching a game, you're probably watching the Champions League final, but they put these games on right afterwards, so there's you can lead right into that. These Saturday night, and the other thing is there's 12 matches on Saturday and only 2 Sundays. So once again, they these rotating weeks where there's just so heavy on one week where this kind of is there any kind of games on Saturday that kind of jump out at you right away?
On the slate this week on Saturday. Earthquakes game mostly.
This one LAFC and Earthquakes, you said?
Yeah, I want goals. I see goals in this game.
Yeah, you see the over 3.5 here, under 3.5. Under is see here over 2.5. You got to kind of take a look here at the Asian handicap where it's basically over 3, under 3. So maybe you could play that. You think that's the over? Oh, think we lost you. Still there? All right. I think we lost him there. So hopefully it's not me. I'm gonna see if he can get back in. See if we can get him back in here. Anyway, so he was talking a little bit about maybe it's my Wi-Fi, maybe it's me and the storm here. I don't know. Just give me a shout here if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up there at the top. Give me a thumbs up here at the top if you can hear what I'm saying. And we got
booted. I got booted out. I thought.
Yeah, I was telling. We're in the middle of like a tornado watch here, so I thought maybe it was my Wi-Fi, but I heard you say. I heard you talk a little bit about the over in this LAFC San Jose Earthquakes game.
Yeah, I'm definitely going over in this matchup. One thing about San Jose is they're leaking goals. They're actually allowing the most goals in the league so far, and it's really ridiculous. They're allowing 20. They've allowed
matches.
Yeah, they've allowed the most goals by 4. They are 4 higher than the second most goals allowed. So
yeah, you see here, 29 goals. They don't even have that bad of a record. They're 3 wins, 5 draws, and 5 losses, but 29 goals allowed. I mean,
they aren't playing any defense, but they acquired a lot of offensive players this season and not many defensive players. So I definitely can see goals in this game. I think they score 1, and LAFC might score 3. Like they might have a field day on these guys today, tomorrow.
Is this the kind of game where you maybe look at LAFC over 2.5 goals, team total -1 plus 150 here?
I might take a stab on it. Yeah, I might take a stab on that. If the over 1.5 is still plus money, I'll take the 1.5.
Yeah, you see, the LAFC scores 2 goals a game. They've got 26 goals in 13 matches, and this team allows 29 and 13. So to me, if you're going to give me LAFC at plus, over 2.5, this is probably the spot where I would take a shot on that. Obviously, over 1.5 goals is probably going to be, ridiculous. -230.
Yeah, and so that's the first game. I'm attacking that game, the over. My fate of the season this season is going to be Toronto FC. I just don't like this team. I don't like watching them play. I will get a bet against them at all costs. Chicago Fire, they are a wishy-washy team. It's really hard to know when they're going to go off, when they're not going to go off, but these are both bottom feeders.
They're 13 and 14. Toronto's allowing 2 goals a game. I mean, probably because they got Michael Bradley in the midfield, to be honest.
Yeah, so if I would not mind taking Chicago Fire, on the double chance, trying to get that W, because this Toronto team is just not what they used to be. They used to be really good. They had Jose out the door. They had some guys that were U.S. men national team favorites. So but now they've fallen off. So I'm betting against them at all costs.
Daryl's asking. We already talked about LAFC. What about do you have anything about Inter Miami here at home against Portland? The Inter Miami doesn't have Messi just yet, but maybe at some point here. But did you take a look at that game with against Portland?
Yeah, about that game. Miami has had a bad run so far, but also it's because they've had a tougher schedule than I would assume they needed after their poor season last season. But they gave them a tough beginning of the schedule again. So once again, Portland is a team that I'm also telling everyone, which is why I bet on them. I bet against them when I picked Philadelphia Union last week, because Philadelphia Union was probably circling their first win in 7 weeks against Portland, because they don't play defense. They don't play very well at all. Um, the one thing that I can hang my hat on, that they can hang their hat on, is that they have some guys that will try to put a goal up for you. So I do
Yeah, they scored 20
see,
goals.
yeah, I think both teams could score in this game. My best bet for this one is a draw in the first half. Um,
Okay. So we got
yeah,
first half. A draw in first half here is plus 118. So
yeah,
they're
it's definitely going that way. It's definitely going towards that way. So
okay.
um, I like that because these teams, they're not terrible defense. Let's see right here. I have, yeah, Portland is the worst of the two defensively. They've allowed
Yeah.
23 goals. However, Miami is not a goal scoring team. Uh,
Yeah, they've
Miami
scored about
has,
one goal a game, I think. 13 goals, right?
yeah, Miami only has 13 goals through 12 weeks, and so I'm not really excited about betting on them to score a goal in the first half, especially. So I think both teams, Portland's getting beat by everybody, so they want to at least make this game respectable. So they're going to probably play a lot of good defense, and I expect Miami to do the same thing. So the first half draw is not a bad option. That's not a bad option for me.
I know that you talked about the Canadian teams here against one of the Canadian teams, Vancouver. I think the worst team in the league right now, playing against your Sporting Kansas City team. Sporting's really at only minus 134 here. I know Sporting Kansas City's been struggling a little bit as well, giving up a lot of goals. Is this a chance for Sporting to kind of get back on the right path here and maybe get a win?
As a Sporting KC as a Sporting KC supporter, I will be backing Sporting KC with minus 134 against the Whitecaps. I would also take, if you have an Asian handicap, minus 0.5, you can get some plus money. 0.75, you can get some plus money.
Yeah, yeah, and hope maybe they win. Minus one is plus 140.
Exactly.
Sporting Kansas City, right next to Vancouver in the table, but I think maybe a little bit as well the schedule, the toughness of the schedule. I think as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Vancouver team, I think is clearly the worst team in the league.
And the KC, they beat a really good Houston Dynamo team on Wednesday. That's the only thing that's giving me a little bit of fear about it, is because they played on Wednesday, but they didn't play a lot of the starters.
Was that in the cup, right?
Yeah, in the Open Cup, so they didn't play a lot of the starters, which is why I was watching to see about.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but one thing about KC is that at home they're a whole different animal. They play a lot better defense, and the Whitecaps, they are not a good scoring team either. They only have 13 goals so far this season, and there's just no way I feel like they will outscore KC. So like both teams could possibly score, but I think KC puts up 2.
Foxy says he did a parlay last night. Newcastle at top 6, Atlas to win Mexican Clausura, and Nashville to win MLS Cup. $1 to win 1,000. So Foxy, I don't know if you're watching early. Our guy Chris King, hit a 10-team parlay yesterday. Second time he's done it. $100 paid $103,000. So anything could happen.
Anything can happen for sure.
Except maybe that. I do like Newcastle probably, I don't know if they get top 6. It's going to be, I think they're going to get close to top 6. They got to definitely get some good signings in there and, see what some of these other teams do. I think Newcastle might be 2 years away. Not this year, but I think, in 3 more windows, they're going to be really good.
I'm all over Nashville. I'm putting in the $10, couple bucks on Nashville to win the whole thing as well, because Nashville,
Really?
they are a really good team. They had to start at the bottom of the rankings, but they're climbing their way up. They weren't even top 10 like 2-3 weeks ago, but now they're skying back up to the top of the table. I'm supporting them for sure for the at least getting to the Cup final. for the MLS Cup. It should be a good one for them. They're surging. Their whole company organization is getting more money put into it. They got a lot of people backing them up. The fans are turning out the most they've ever turned out. So I'm going to definitely support them, possibly win the cup.
Any other kind of plays you looked at Saturday or Sunday here? Anything kind of jump out?
Yeah, I like so Canadian teams for me are a no-go, but I am with Montreal this week. I'm with Montreal against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a sleeper team. They've done a lot better than they've had in the last 3 years. I just feel like Montreal, they surprised me. They actually have been also climbing the rankings, similar to Nashville on the other side. Um, they they should definitely. It should be a match. Both teams should score in this matchup. This is definitely
Yeah, it's
true.
4-3 last. It was 4-3 on April 2nd. So, and then
Mm-hmm.
2 times ago it was 5-4 last year, and then in between there was a 0-0. So there's no in between. They either score 8 goals or nil. So
Exactly.
yeah, you see over 2.5 is -182. So even probably on the Asian handicap total, over 3 is -104. So might
Yeah,
bet decent there.
honestly, it is likely that I would have backed Cincinnati if they were at Cincinnati. But
Okay.
since they are not, I will be backing Montreal this week.
Any thoughts on any of the other games? The Champions League final or the playoff final in Huddersfield and Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, my bankroll is all on Benzema for the Champions League. I have him to score a goal. If he don't score a goal, I'll be happy to be broke. But I put a lot of bucks on Benzema. So
Yeah, he's our guy Bill. I
yeah,
mean, that we talk about this all the time. I mean, Benzema, 10 goals in his last 5 UEFA Champions League games.
yeah.
If he doesn't score, Real Madrid probably doesn't win the game anyway. So, it's
It
going to
literally it won't even be worth the watch if he doesn't score because he's been tearing up this entire competition. So it wouldn't be right for him to not score. So I think the team's going to help him to get position to score.
Yeah. Look, Liverpool's gone behind in 5 of their last 6 matches. I think they're limping to the finish a little bit. They're going to be, they had to play. Although they'll get a break. Obviously, they played up until Sunday, but they played all their guys up until Sunday. So, Real Madrid's relegated.
But in the case of a winner, Liverpool losing the European title, what I'm saying, the Premier League title,
Yep.
to Manchester City. I feel like this is going to be we got to do this. We got to do this. So I'm definitely thinking that they're going to win this game.
All right. And then I don't know. Do you follow the other one, the richest game in the world, the playoff between Huddersfield and Nottingham Forest?
Ooh, really? Huddersfield.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the playoff final. Yeah, it's on Sunday at what time is 11:30 Eastern. Winner goes to the Premier League and gets handed a check for $220 million. You can hear good luck. Competing with all these teams. So it's a massive, massive game.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't see Nottingham Forest not making it back to the EPL. But I would love to have Huddersfield Town back in the EPL.
After my bet, Atlas won the first leg of the final 2-0, and so Newcastle is the most unlikely one, but we'll see who they find. Can't see Liverpool slipping up. Yeah, listen, I'm going to tell you, like this, the fact that Liverpool had to play all the way to the end, when you see that, like, it happened in, I know it happened in 2019 against Tottenham, but Tottenham the first time. This Real Madrid team is rested. I think they're going to be, ready to go. But look, it's going to be an even game. I think, either way, goal in it either way. Hopefully it's, we're probably not going to see any goalkeeping errors like we did last time. Obviously, it's going to be Allison's much better keeper. So, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's about it for both of us will be on tonight on Total Chaos. We'll be picking. I don't know you. I'm sure you'll be picking some MLS.
MLS. Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Champions League and I forget what the other one I did. I think I picked like a Danish game or something like this. We picked the overs and unders, so make sure you tune into that. It's going to be for the games Saturday and Sunday. Usually it's for the Sunday games, but there's not a lot of games this weekend. So on Sunday, so make sure you're liking and subscribing, and obviously I'll be on tonight on ESPN Radio 98.7 in New York, talking about this game. Caesars has the $1,100 first bet insurance. ATS wins SCZR. Make sure you're following all the other shows on here. We got 6 hours of programming, talking all kinds of stuff, and it's really 6 hours plus because we got everything else going on. So, any last words here for the audience for this week? How'd you do this week?
Oh, I did pretty good. Sunday was a 5-2 day, so MLS we're still hitting. So
yeah, hey, listen, if you're trying to win money on the MLS, make sure you're following him here at B Kaepernick. The guy wins money, and he's he's one of these guys. He doesn't hide behind. He shows his record all the time, so he's telling you how he's doing. In baseball,
transparency.
Yeah, look, got to be transparent. These guys that say, "Oh man, I won $700 last night. If you would have bet I had 50 units and all this stuff, but it's all behind a paywall, or you got to pay for it." Like, listen, man, you gotta, it's everything's transparent here, and we come on, and everybody comes on and gives you your picks. So, all right, so we'll see Kaepernick next week. I'm going to be here Monday on Memorial Day, talking about some kind of games. Maybe we'll talk about we got the UEFA Nations League starting next week, and we got the World Cup, the World Cup playoff on Tuesday.
I can't wait.
Yeah, look, there's all kinds of games. It never ends with soccer, so
never ends with soccer. Never ends.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we will see you Monday.